Okay, let's just start with the brutal, unavoidable truth about marketing today. People hate your ads.
They really do.
They skip them, they block them, they install software specifically to get rid of them. I mean, we are actively training our brains to just ignore anything that feels like an interruption.
And businesses are spending a fortune on it. You see 6, sometimes 7 figures just to force a message onto an audience that is, frankly, doing everything it can to not listen.
And then we wonder why the ROI is in the toilet.
It's a frustrating cycle, isn't it?
Hmm.
And what's so fascinating here is that this isn't some new problem from the 2020s.
Hmm.
Seth Godin saw this whole thing coming way back in 1999.
1999? I mean, think about that. That was the absolute peak of blast and pray.
Oh, totally. Marketers were obsessed. TV commercials, radio spots, those giant banner ads that took over your whole screen.
And junk mail. So much junk mail.
Exactly. It was a war for raw attention. And Godin comes along and proposes something that sounded, well, completely radical. He said, stop interrupting strangers. Flip the script entirely. Focus on building relationships with people who want to hear from you. It's a patient model. First, you get permission. Then you deliver value. And only then, after all that, do you earn the right to sell.
And for you listening, the goal of this deep dive isn't just to talk about a marketing philosophy. This is about real-world numbers. We're looking at how to get a much better conversion rate and a way higher customer lifetime value.
It's the old V, yeah.
By prioritizing quality relationships over, the quantity of interruptions. Okay, let's unpack this. Start with principle 1.
Yeah.
Why interruption marketing is basically a dead end now.
So interruption marketing is pretty much what it sounds like. It's forcing your message on people who didn't ask for it.
That pre-roll ad you can't skip, the sponsored post in your feed, the pop-up that covers the article you're trying to read until you hunt for that tiny little X.
It's the digital version of a telemarketer calling at dinner. It just creates resentment from the get-go.
Which is a terrible way to start a relationship.
And Godin's core argument is that this model is failing because your audience has too much control now, too many options. We've all developed this ad blindness, banner blindness.
Email blindness. We don't just ignore them, we actively filter them out.
Which is the real economic killer here.
Yeah.
The math just doesn't work. The cost to interrupt people keeps going up and up.
You're paying more for placements on Facebook, on Google, everywhere.
And at the same time, the effectiveness is dropping because the audience is working harder than ever to ignore you. You're literally paying a premium to make people resent you.
It sounds insane when you put it like that.
Permission marketing flips that whole dynamic. Instead of paying to reach millions who don't care, you only talk to the people who've raised their hand and said, yes, I want to hear from you about this.
So your costs plummet and your effectiveness skyrockets.
Because they're already listening.
Let's use an example. A skincare company. The old interruption approach would be, what? Run mass Facebook ads?
Yep. Target women, 25 to 45 in these zip codes, spend a ton of money, hope for a one-time purchase. High cost, low retention. You're always chasing the next sale.
Okay, so what's the permission approach?
Instead of selling a product, you offer value first, like a free 7-day glow guide in exchange for an email. The people who sign up have given you permission because they already see you as an expert.
And then you build on that.
And then you build trust. You send tips, routines, education for weeks before you even think about asking for a sale.
So by the time the pitch comes, they're ready. They trust you. Interruption rents attention you have to pay every time. Permission.
Builds an asset, an audience you own.
Which brings us right to principle 2. Permission isn't just a list, it's a capital asset.
And that's the crucial mind shift. It's not a sales pipeline, it's intellectual property.
Oh.
But it is incredibly fragile.
You can lose it in a second.
Instantly.
Yeah.
And what's the #1 way businesses screw this up?
They rush it, they get the email with a promise of value, and then they just destroy that trust with nonstop sales pitches.
Exactly. Now, Godin uses this bank account analogy.
Which is brilliant. Every valuable piece of content is a deposit.
And every spammy, salesy email is a withdrawal. You have to make enough deposits of value before you can even think about making a sales withdrawal.
But hold on, let me push back on that a bit. In today's world, isn't even a deposit, like a free guide, still a tiny withdrawal? Because you're taking their time. How do you define a true deposit?
That is a great question, and it gets to the heart of it. A true deposit isn't just free, it has to be useful. Genuinely useful and relevant.
So if your email saves me 10 minutes of work, That's a deposit.
That's a deposit. But if your free tip is just a thinly veiled ad that wastes my time, that's a withdrawal. And if you keep making withdrawals,
Your account goes bankrupt, they hit unsubscribe.
and now your churn rate is up, your customer acquisition cost, your CACs is up, and you're back on that hamster wheel, right? You're constantly trying to fill a bucket that's got holes in it.
Let's use that online fitness coach again. The permission abuser. They offer a free workout guide. Get the email.
And then immediately start hammering them with daily emails, pushing a $500 coaching package. They'll see a 50% unsubscribe rate in the first month.
It's totally unsustainable. Now, the permission nurturer.
They send the guide. Then, for 4 weeks, they send one amazing workout tip, one new recipe, one motivational story, real free value. Then, and only then, do they mention their program.
The audience trusts them by that point.
They trust them and they anticipate hearing from them. The asset has compounded. The sale is just a natural next step, not some aggressive push.
So if we're saying permission is an asset, the next question is, are all permissions created equal? Which leads to principle 3, the 5 levels of permission.
Right. And this is where the real strategy comes in. Godin breaks it down into 5 levels, from weakest to strongest.
Yeah.
And your goal as a marketer is to patiently move people up these levels.
And the payoff is huge. He says a level 5 customer can be worth 10 times a level 1 prospect. Why 10 times? That seems so specific.
Because a level 5 customer completely changes your cost structure. Their acquisition cost is 0, they're already there. They aren't price sensitive because they trust you. And, maybe most importantly, they become your sales team.
Through referrals, word of mouth.
Exactly. They bring you new customers for free.
Okay, so let's walk through the levels. Level 1 is
Situational permission. They're literally standing in your store or on your website. They'll listen right now, but the second they leave, that permission is gone.
Level 2 is brand trust. They've heard of you, they recognize the logo, they don't hate you, but that's about it, no real connection.
Then you get to level 3, personal relationship. This is a huge leap. They know your voice,
Yeah.
they read your blog, they watch your videos. You're not just a commodity anymore.
And that gets them to level 4, explicit permission.
This is where they've actually said, yes, contact me. They signed up for a trial, they subscribed to a specific newsletter, they invited you in.
And the top of the mountain, level 5, is intravenous permission.
Complete trust. They are your evangelists. They have basically given you a blank check to market to them because they trust your judgment completely.
Let's trace that with a software company. Level 1 is just someone who found you on Google and bounced.
Right. Level 3 is the person who's been reading your technical blog for 6 months and sees you as an expert. They move to level 4 when they finally sign up for that free 30-day trial.
And they hit level 5 when they're a paying customer who's on Twitter telling their whole industry how your software changed their business.
The big mistake is treating all of them the same, isn't it? Sending a high-pressure pitch to a level 1 searcher makes them run. Sending a generic blast to a level 5 evangelist makes them feel unappreciated.
You have to meet them where they are. And moving them up those levels means you have to master principle 4, making it personal, relevant, and anticipated. The PRA triumvirate.
Yes. This is the execution layer. It only works if your message is all 3 of those things at once.
So personal means it feels like it's for me, not for a million people.
Relevant means it addresses a problem I have right now. And anticipated means I'm actually expecting to hear from you. I want the message.
When you hit all 3, it doesn't even feel like marketing. It feels like you're being helped.
You feel served. But if even one is missing, permission starts to crumble.
So let me ask a more technical question then. How do you do that at scale? You can't write 10,000 personal emails.
You can't. And this is where your tech stack becomes non-negotiable. Your CRM, your marketing automation, you have to segment based on behavior.
What pages they visited, what they bought before.
What problems they've told you they have. Without that data, PRA is basically impossible.
Let's use an online course platform. The wrong way to do it is a generic email blast, right?
The absolute worst. New course available, not personal, not relevant to most, not anticipated. You'll get low opens and high unsubscribes.
So the right way is to use segmentation. You email only the people who just finished the beginner's course.
And you say, hey, you just finished beginner marketing. Ready for the advanced course on analytics.
It's personal because it knows my history. It's relevant because it's the next logical step. And it's anticipated because I'm looking for what to do next.
That's when you see open rates over 40%. Click rates over 10. You're not sending blasts anymore. You're sending welcome correspondence.
So if we pull all this together, building assets, the fragility of permission, mastering PRA, what's the big takeaway? It sounds like it's just slow down.
It's slow down.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the final principle, the dating analogy.
My favorite one.
It's the simplest. You don't propose marriage on the first date.
And yet so many businesses do. You land on a website and a pop-up screams, "Buy now, 20% off."
It's too much, too soon. They don't know you. They don't trust you. Of course they run away.
The pacing is everything. You have to respect the timeline.
Exactly. Let's say you're a business coach. The first date mistake is someone downloads your free PDF.
And 3 minutes later, they get an email pitching your $5,000 program.
Way too fast. The dating approach is different. First, you deliver that PDF. Make it awesome. 3 days later, send a case study.
Show, don't tell.
5 days after that, maybe invite them to a free strategy session. No strings attached. Only after you've established trust and fit do you even mention the $5,000 program.
It's the same prospect, but the result is completely different. Rushing just leads to buyer's remorse and churn. Pacing builds loyalty. It's a marathon.
Not a sprint.
Okay, so for everyone listening, if you want to start this right now, here is your 10-minute action plan. Step 1. Identify one really valuable thing your ideal customer wants or needs to know. A tip, a resource, an insight.
Step 2. Create a super simple offer. Get this valuable thing for free. Just enter your email.
Third, put that offer somewhere obvious on your website or in your social media bio.
And fourth, this is the most important part. Write that first email they get and just deliver the value you promised. That's it.
Yeah.
Zero selling.
Your only goal is to make that first deposit into the permission bank account. You've just created your first permission asset.
And that's really the whole thing in a nutshell, isn't it? Interruption is dead, permission is an asset, you master the levels, you deliver PRA, and you respect the pace. It all comes back to Godin's core message. Permission is more valuable than attention. Earn it, respect it, and never, ever abuse it.
And that's so much more true today than it was in 1999. The core takeaway is that sustainable, profitable marketing is marketing people actually want to receive. Stop renting attention and start building assets.
And I'll leave you with this to think about. If you know that interruption marketing's effectiveness is dropping while its cost is rising, think about how much money you are currently spending just to train people to ignore you. And then ask yourself what that same money could buy if you invested it instead in building a level 5 intravenous relationship.
Yeah.